On today's episode of The Front Row, we are in downtown Lubbock in the Lubbock Cultural District at the studios of Lubbock Public Media, Classical 105.7. And our special guests on The Front Row today are Alycyn Keeling, who is the Executive Director of the Wallace Theater in Levelland, and Keegan Peck, musician here in town, who is performing on the 19th in the Wallace Theater. Welcome to you both. Thank you for being our guests today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Alycyn, let me begin with you. For folks who may not have caught our previous interviews, give us a little concise history of the Wallace Theater and how it's got to be where it is today.
Absolutely. So the Wallace Theater is a historic theater built in 1928. Historically, it was a movie house, and we have just completed a renovation where we now get to host concerts. We still have movies, but bring in all kinds of wonderful live performances. It had ran up as a movie theater until the mid to late 1980s, was closed for about 30 years before we got into renovations and brought this theater back to life. And we're so excited to be welcoming Keegan and his quartet back to our stage in just a few days.
Yay, it's great. Well, I have to say, having been out there a couple of times, what you described is very modest. I mean, it's like a restoration, a refurbishment. It's so many things, and you've done a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you.
And you've gotten community support and financial support and all the things that it takes to make something successful. And my hat's off to you. You've done a great job.
Thank you. Well, yes, we are a nonprofit organization. We also have a great heart for education and the arts in our community, especially in rural West Texas, wanting to bring the arts and make those accessible to students. And you talk about community support. It truly is amazing the way the community has supported this project. We've had over 1,300 donors come together to build this theater back up. And when you step inside the Wallace Theater, our mission statement is creating experiences that entertain, inspire, and empower. And from that very first step, we want you to have an experience. We want you to feel like you're walking back in time into the 1920s to this beautifully restored theater. We have a wonderful concession area with food and drinks, and the performance space all in itself. We have beautiful restored murals inside the auditorium that just create this amazing, intimate experience when you're sitting there listening to wonderful music or watching a movie again.
Right. Well, having been in the theater, I can say that's absolutely true. That's really wonderful. Now, your guest coming up on the 19th is Keegan Peck. Keegan, welcome. Thank you for being here. You said this was not the first time. You're welcome back to have you performed there before?
Yes, my group, our quartet, has performed there. I believe this might be our fifth or sixth time. I can't remember exactly.
All right. So you've grown into the theater. That's great. Yeah.
It's been such a thrill to see it at all the different stages and get to see it from, whenever it was transforming from just kind of a vision to actually construction and all the way now to a full-blown renovated stage. It's just been a blessing.
That's great. Tell us a little bit about you and your journey to forming this group and becoming a performer. Are you from the area?
I grew up in Midland, but
Okay.
I came here for college and never left. And I just fell in love with Lubbock. There's so much as far as the arts here, getting opportunities to perform, be it for musicians, actors. There's a lot that Lubbock has to offer. And I fell in love with that and formed my group about 10 years ago. Okay. And so, it's made up of Dr. Charles Whitehead, Dustin Pettigo, and Brian Tate, just fantastic musicians that I'm blessed to work with. And we've been performing, like I said, for about 10 years now.
Are you the singer?
I am.
All right. And I'm guessing probably keyboard and drums and what else?
Keyboard, drums, and bass.
Bass.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And so you're the quartet, right?
We are.
What kind of music do you enjoy to play?
Most of what we do is jazz standards, things that are made famous by Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Mel Torme, Bobby Darin, just those greats from those times. And that's most of what we perform, but we do a little bit sometimes of musical theater, just kind of anything in that vein.
Right. Well, people are going to love that. And that's great. And so perfect for the Wallace Theater, too. It'll just fit right in the ambiance, right? Yeah, it'll sound great. So tell us, if you would, specifics about Friday night. tickets, people need to get tickets, yes?
Absolutely. You can get tickets on our website, wallacetheater.com. Show starts at 7:30, and tickets are $30. Keegan, again, is our Christmas tradition at the Wallace. You know, he said he's been with us for about 6 or 7 years, and they've actually been in all iterations of the Wallace, from playing in our small performance space upstairs to traveling with us to different buildings as we were throughout our renovations. But this is such a special show because it is the first time Keegan and his group get to be on a fully renovated stage with everything fully restored. And what I have loved about his concerts is just this warm feeling that they give you. It's perfect for going into the holidays, sharing this experience with friends and family, and you're in for a real treat when you get to hear Keegan and the other guys with his group.
Excellent. When did you have the vision to form a quartet? What prompted that? Where did that come from?
I think it came from listening to all those records growing up, listened to a lot of Frank Sinatra, especially Frank Sinatra growing up. And I ended up, whenever I went to college, I joined a group and started singing some of that and some standards. And after college, I thought, well, man, I'd love to do more of this, and got opportunities at just some different local venues. But then I just wanted to start doing this more and more, and so I got to meet all sorts of incredible musicians. There are a lot of them around here. And one time we all just ended up being on the same gig, and we just it just clicked, and we're like, I think we're going to be a quartet now.
So you found the right people, kind of accident? Yeah,
I pretty much did.
That's great. Excellent. Well, she mentioned, Alycyn, that this was kind of a holiday thing. Will you do Christmas pieces as well? Yes,
we'll do a lot of Christmas. We're going to throw in a few standards as well. It kind of just typical jazz standards, but we're going to do a lot of Christmas, a lot of ones that people know, the Christmas song, White Christmas, maybe even a few that aren't as well known that are still favorites.
Right. So when you get together to do things like this, do you make your own arrangements? Do you come to the pieces in your own way and decide how you're going to do them?
Mm-hmm. Well, we get together and we rehearse, and as I've mentioned, I have some amazing musicians that I work with, and so the arrangements kind of form as we go. Mm-hmm. We're like, okay, I think we're going to do this. I think we'll try this.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of build that in, and then we just decide to do it like that. Right. So something that fits our instrumentation.
Right. And so you make it your own.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Personalized. I love that.
Yes.
And that's great. Now, but people that come and they hear something unique, right?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. Right. One other thing that I forgot to mention about your experience at the Wallace, especially this year, we have had over 30 volunteers who came together to decorate the Wallace Theater for Christmas. So it is a full-on Christmas experience as you walk in.
Excellent. For people who want to get to the Wallace who may not be familiar, you make the trip to Levelland, and then what?
You make the trip to Levelland. You can actually come straight down Highway 114. You make a left onto Avenue H, and we are right there downtown. We've also got beautiful windows that overlook our courthouse square. We have a bar upstairs and downstairs, and we will serve wine and mixed drinks along with charcuterie as well. So you can really make a full night of it and just have a very enjoyable experience.
Right, that's good. I love the whole theater, but I really do like the upstairs. That's really nice.
It really is great. We've got it set up as a little lounge area, so come a little bit early. Open doors about 7 o'clock, so you can come, have a beverage, enjoy the view, enjoy the whole space. Feel free to take a tour if you haven't been before, and just enjoy it, and maybe even take a last-minute Christmas photo.
Yeah, that'd be great. So I want to come. How do I get tickets?
wallacetheater.com on our website. There's a tab that says upcoming events. Click on that and you will see the poster with Keegan Peck right there. You can click there and select your seat and you're good to go. We also may have a few seats still available at the door, but I do encourage you to buy ahead of time.
Yeah, sure. Make the trip, of course. Exactly. Right. Wonderful. Our guests on the show today, Alycyn Keeling, who is the executive director of the Wallace Theater, and there's, of course, a personal connection with your parents, right? You want to talk about that?
Sure. So it really was my dad who had the vision to restore the Wallace Theater. Everybody in town thought he was crazy at the time, including myself, but we are all now so thankful that he had this dream to bring this theater back to life. There's just something so special about a historic theater, about the memories that it holds for so many generations generations growing up who saw movies there. Folks had their first kiss in that theater, saw performances that inspired them. And now that the theater is restored, it gets to do that once again for the next generation. And my dad did pass away in 2016, about a year and a half after we really kind of started to bring this project back to life. But on Friday night, we'll also be celebrating his birthday, and I can't imagine any better way to celebrate it than inside the Wallace Theater with people listening to this beautiful, inspiring music and seeing his vision fully restored.
You know, it's so interesting you say that, because in many historic buildings that I've been in, there's an interesting spirit there. You know, it's like the ghosts of the past, but in a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like there's history in the walls, and it's wonderful. And I think you've certainly served that purpose. It's
Thank you.
really great. Keegan, thank you for being our guest today. We can't wait to hear you perform on Friday the 19th.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.